In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there are weapons forged not merely to conquer territory or annihilate armies, but to consume existence itself. Look closely at the armored behemoths of the traitor legions as they emerge from the smoke of the battlefield. That low, rhythmic thrum you hear is not an engine idling in the dark. It is a heartbeat. The metal plating pulses like a diseased vein beneath corrupted skin. Exhaust vents howl with voices layered atop one another, screams stretched thin by centuries of torment. The air around the machine stinks of scorched oil, ozone, and old blood. This is no mere tank. It is a living nightmare. A demon dragged screaming from the immaterium and crushed into a cage of iron, brass, and ceramite. It does not burn promethium to fuel its advance. It burns souls. Bound within its armored shell is a sentient predator that knows only hatred, hunger, and pain. The Daemon Engine is the pinnacle of cyber demonology, a blasphemous union of dark technology and warp-born malice. It is the ultimate corruption of the machine spirit. To face one is not to confront a weapon, but a thinking, feeling monster that experiences the battlefield as a feeding ground. A Daemon Engine does not calculate firing solutions. It does not obey battlefield logic. It does not understand restraint. It hunts. To understand why such abominations exist, you must look beyond the material galaxy, past the borders of sanity, and into the eye of terror. There, upon hellish industrial worlds forever scarred by the warp, stand the soul forges of the Dark Mechanicum. These worlds are not merely factories. They are charnel houses of industry. The skies bleed crimson with warp-tainted storms. Rivers of molten metal flow beside canals of boiling blood. The air is thick with incense-toxic smog and the screams of things being unmade and reforged. The tech priests who abandon the Emperor do not build machines. They breed them. The creation of a Daemon Engine begins with the construction of a mechanical shell, a masterpiece of lethal engineering. Its hull is carved with Baroque armor plates, jagged spikes, and blasphemous geometry designed not only for battle, but for ritual dominance. Chains are welded directly into the frame, not for restraint, but for symbolism. The machine must know it is enslaved. Then comes the ritual. A hole is torn in reality itself. Warp energies flood the forge chamber. A demon, an immortal entity of pure emotion and malice, is dragged howling into the physical realm. Sorcerers weaken it with sigils and psychic agony. Warpsmiths hammer binding runes into the hull with white-hot tools, each impact burning commands directly into the creature's essence. Cables fuse with warp flesh. Pistons become bone. Steel and demonic matter merge into a single screaming organism. The demon is killed, its former existence annihilated, and then resurrected as a slave. What does a Daemon Engine feel? Pain. Nothing but pain. Demons are creatures of formless energy and raw emotion. They are not meant to exist within rigid physical laws. To imprison one inside a shell of metal is an act of cosmic cruelty. Every movement grinds against its unnatural existence. Gears bite into ethereal flesh. Hydraulic fluids mix with warp ichor. Every step, every rotation of a joint, every discharge of a weapon is torture, and this torment is intentional. The Dark Mechanicum understands a terrible truth. Agony is power. The demon's rage, despair, and hatred are weaponized. The engine is driven not by logic, but by desperation. It hates its creators. It hates its prison. But most of all, It hates the universe of matter that confines it. That hatred is what makes Daemon Engines so devastating. They do not fight for objectives. They do not retreat. They do not surrender. They destroy because destruction is the only momentary relief from eternal suffering. When a Daemon Engine charges, it is not advancing. It is attempting to tear reality apart in the desperate hope that its iron cage will finally break. When you hear the metallic roar of a Daemon Engine, you are not hearing a war cry. You are hearing the scream of a tortured god begging for release and promising annihilation in return. The Soul Forges produce countless variations of these nightmares, each designed for a specific kind of slaughter. One of the most feared is the Maulerfiend. It does not crawl forward on tracks or wheels. It bounds across the battlefield on massive mechanical limbs like a predatory beast. Designed to hunt heavy armor and fortifications, its magma cutters slice through battle tank hulls in seconds. Power fists crush dreadnoughts into twisted wreckage. It scales fortress walls, claws digging into rockcrete as it tears defenders from their positions. It is not a vehicle. It is a rabid warhound forged from brass and fire. Look to the skies, and you will see the Heldrake. Once, these were noble fighter craft. Now they are mechanical dragons. The demon within mutates the aircraft into a winged apex predator. The original pilot has long since been consumed, mind, body, and soul absorbed into the machine. The Heldrake dives from the clouds, breathing torrents of balefire that incinerate infantry columns, its talons ripping enemy aircraft apart mid-flight. And then there is the Lord of Skulls, a towering engine of carnage dedicated to Khorne, the blood god. It advances on massive track units, its upper body shaped like a colossal gladiator. In one arm, a cleaver the size of a building. In its abdomen, a cannon that fires boiling rivers of blood. It does not merely kill, it harvests. Wherever it walks, the ground becomes a mire of gore and crushed bodies, each death an offering to its patron deity. Deploying a Daemon Engine is not a tactical decision. It is a gamble with annihilation. Chaos knows no loyalty. The binding runes carved into the armor are the only things preventing the beast from turning on its masters. If those runes are damaged by enemy fire, or if warp energies surge beyond control, the bindings fail. When the chains break, the Daemon Engine does not distinguish between ally and enemy. It slaughters maintenance crews, it crushes warpsmiths. It tears through traitor legionnaires with the same fury it unleashes upon Imperial defenders. The Dark Mechanicum believes it can enslave the warp. But the warp cannot be tamed. Every Daemon Engine is a ticking bomb of hatred and madness. Controlling one is like holding a starving wolf by the ears. Eventually your grip slips, and the jaws close. Look upon the smoldering battlefield after the engines fall silent. Twisted wreckage of metal and flesh litters the ground. Daemon Engines stand as the ultimate monument to human hubris and technological degradation. The Emperor sought to elevate humanity through reason and mastery over science. The traitor legions cast that dream into the furnaces of the Soul Forges, binding the horrors of hell into machines of war. So, ask yourself, what is truly the worst fate in this grim and dark millennium? To be lobotomized and reduced to a servitor, or to be consumed alive within the grinding gears of a Maulerfiend? Write your answer in the comments, subscribe to the archives, and remember, there are fates far worse than death.